All right, shalom to the elect. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. And what I said was all the praises, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh, who is the Heavenly Father, in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, who is the Messiah, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. And in this lesson, I want to go through Revelation, the 20th chapter, man. Now, recently, me and another brother from the camp, all right, had went over it. You can check it out. All right, this brother had posted it, but it's we went through verses 11 through 15. All right, this brother GMS Watch and Pray. Let's subscribe to that brother's channel and get edified. All right, but today's lesson, I wanted to go through the entire chapter, man. All right, get some edify. This is a part of prophecy, The thing is, some of these things, right? Or let me just say, a lot of it still has to take place. All right, but part of it already happened. Okay, and I'm gonna get into the parts that already happened. All right. Lord willing, this is edifying, right? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, and starting in verse 1. It says, and I saw an angel, and it says Satan bound, right? It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now, this angel is talking about Yahweh Shai, all right? And it's having the key of the bottomless pit. Now, this bottomless pit is talking about Europe, okay? Now, if you don't know already, all right, the brothers have done lessons on this, so you can check the lessons out as well, all right? But, bottomless, this pit is referring to the land of Europe, all right? This pit is the land. This is 2 Ezra chapter 5. We're going with precept upon precept, because that's how you have to understand the Bible. Precept upon precept. As it's written through thy precepts, I get understanding, right? So now, this is the prophet Ezra, right? Speaking to the Lord, all right? Going over some of the favorites the Lord has, right? 2 Ezra chapter 5, starting at verse 23, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen me one only vine. And of all lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit. Okay? So out of all the lands of the world, the Lord has one favorite land. And that's the land of Israel. Right? Where you see it called a pit. So a land can be referred to as a pit. All right? And this pit, all right, that is spoken of in Revelation 20, all right, is talking about Europe. All right. And once you get the context right here, all right, then you'll understand that it's talking about Europe. Okay. Now, how do we know it's talking about Europe? Well, it says the bottomless pit. Now, I have this map here, right? I'm gonna come back to this, okay? But Europe, all right, all right, Europe is known as the bottomless pit because of its lack of resources. Okay, bear with me just 1 second. I'm gonna try to find something I had up here before. Just bear with me 1 second. If I can find it. All right. Um. All right. But all right. So nevertheless, okay. But Europe is called the bottomless pit. All right, due to the fact of its lack of natural resources. Okay, which is why it has to import a lot of its goods. Okay. This is talking about this bottomless pit, Revelation 20, is talking about land of Europe. All right. And once again, you read this context here, okay, and in verse 6, no, Slocket, no, not verse 6, verse 7, you're going to understand that this is talking about within Europe, all right? So, it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, this is Yahweh Shai, having the key of the bottomless pit, all right? And this word for key here, okay, is kleis, all right? And it says a key, since the keeper of the keys has the power to open and to shut. Metaphor in the New Testament to denote power and authority of various kinds. All right. So let's go back. Let's read it one more time. Revelation 20:1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. So what is this saying? Now this is talking about the Lord put an energy down on the earth for a certain nation to fall, okay? For a certain nation to go down into slavery. This chain represents slavery, okay? You know, so the Lord is here putting energy on the earth, all right, for Esau, okay, aka the so-called white man, to fall during the time of the of the ancient Roman Empire, the ancient Western Roman Empire, okay, which that was once again that was ruled by the so-called white man Esau, okay, and it fell, all right. You can go into that, you can look up that history of the Western Roman Empire falling, okay. It had fell, all right, and let's just do a quick Google search, right? Where was the Western Roman Empire located? It says the Western Roman Empire was located. Let me type in mainly, okay? Or even, you know what? It doesn't say it. I wanted to hit it right on the nozzle, okay? Oh. All right, so it says here, people also ask, where was the Roman Empire mainly located? The Roman Empire was one of the largest empires in history. It began as a small city-state in central Italy and expanded. And Italy is what? Well, let's look it up. Where is Italy located? Italy is located in southern what? Europe. Okay. Occupying the boot-shaped Italian peninsula, which is this little shape right here, that extends into the Mediterranean Sea, bordering countries like France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. It also includes the large islands of Sicily and Sardinia. Okay. So it was located, all right, in Europe. All right. Once again, so I was saying that once you understand what this is talking about, all right, it's talking about, you're going to understand that that bottomless pit is Europe, okay? I'm going to type this in. Where did the fall? All right. Pretty much, still in Europe, okay? So this is the history that is being recalled here, you see? Christianity would have never taught you that the Bible talks about this, right? And the thing, we understand that this is true because it fits so perfectly. All right. Now, continuing on, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Now, you might be thinking, well, how can this be the so-called white man if it says the dragon, that old serpent, the devil, and Satan? You know, you would think that that's talking about the spiritual demon Satan, right? Well, no, it's not. Okay, it's talking about, listen closely, his physical counterpart. All right, which indeed is the so-called white man. Now, let's go back here, right? Let's go to the letter Bible, actually. Let's deal with this, right? It says he laid hold on the dragon, right? Now, when you get a precept for this dragon here, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 12. All right. Revelation chapter 12, starting in verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and this woman is Israel. Jeremiah 6 and 2. You could look that up, right? It says clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. All right. And that means knowledge, wisdom, understanding, because the Lord gave the laws, prophets, mysteries, wisdom, knowledge, understanding to the Israelites, right, to conduct themselves and separate them from the other nations, right? And then it says, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, all right? And these are talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, all right? Quick precept, we're going to come back to that, Lord willing. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 37, starting at verse 9. And it says, he dreamed yet another dream. Let me start up a little bit. Verse 5, Genesis 37, starting verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren. And they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf rose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. All right. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars made obeisance to me. Right? And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to the earth? All right, but it said these stars, which is talking about the Israelites. All right, it said the 11 stars. All right, and then going back, it said 12. All right, so it's just a precept. Okay, showing you that these 12 stars talking about Israelites. Verse 2, it says, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And I was talking about the Roman Empire coming down on Israel. Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. Right? Verse 4. And his tail. All right, and this. All right. And you about to, and Lord willing, you understand, but you're about to see that this dragon is talking about the ancient Roman Empire, right? Which was ruled by Esau. It says, verse 4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? And did cast them to the earth. And the dragon, look, listen to this. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay? And what does it mean to devour? What does that part mean? The dragon stood before the woman. All right, so now when we get the precept, you should understand who this dragon is, okay, who this child is, etc. Right? So now let's go from there to the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 13. Right? Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 13. It says, "And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream." Joseph talking about the earthly father of Yahushua. Okay? It says, "Behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child," talking about Yahushua and his mother, Mary, "and flee into Egypt. And be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him." Okay? Verse 14, "When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son." All right, so this was, this is going into when Herod was looking to slay Yahushua, okay, when he was young. All right, and Herod, was of the ancient Roman Empire. All right, so when we go back to Revelation 12, okay, and it says, Revelation 12, and it said again to the point, "And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born." Right? So now we understand what this is talking about. Okay? Talking about the time when Herod, okay, was looking for Yahushua, all right, to kill him when he was young. Okay? When this dragon, so we understand this is talking about the ancient Roman Empire, but why did it refer to it as what? A great red dragon. Why did it say that? Well, let's get the precept. This is the book of Genesis 25, verse 25, right? And it says, talking about this is going into Jacob and Esau. It's 25 and 25. "And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name what? Esau." Right? And this is the progenitor of you so-called white people. Okay? All right, but it says he was red. All right? And it said that dragon was red. Okay, so this Roman Empire was an Edomite ruled empire. Okay, so this dragon is talking about who? The so-called white man. Revelation 20 and 2. "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent." Now dealing with this, let's go over here to Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made." All right, now this serpent, this isn't talking about a literal snake. Okay, it's talking about this serpent in the Garden of Eden. All right, was the very first incarnation, all right, of Esau. Okay, it wasn't, called Esau then, all right, but that spirit that was in Esau was back here in the garden, all right. It wasn't a literal serpent. Now let's look at this word serpent. Strong's H5175, Nachash, all right, and it says what? Serpent, snake, serpent, image, serpent, fleeing serpent, all right. Let's see. All right, you know what? Already yet. Okay, now let's go to this. All right, because it said, "What about this serpent?" It said, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh's power had made." All right, so this word subtle, Irawum. All right, Irawum, and it says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. Now let's see. So this said this serpent, or this person, this man, was more subtle. He was crafty. He was a crafty person, right? Now let's see who else was called crafty. Okay, back in Genesis 25th chapter. All right, and Once again, talking about Jacob and Esau, Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a what? A cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So we'll call Esau what? A cunning hunter. A cunning hunter. All right. Let's look up this word cunning real quick. See what it says here. You die. All right. You die to know how to be skillful in. Okay. You know. He knew how to hunt. He was crafty. You see these traits in the so-called white man today. So this serpent wasn't a literal, it wasn't a literal serpent, man. Okay? It was a man. All right? And once again, using this context and knowing that it's talking about the bottomless pit, the great chain in his hand. All right? The bottomless pit being Europe, the Western Roman Empire falling. All right? You should, and what do they call the so-called white man? The dragon, that old serpent. All right? So you should understand this is talking about a literal dragon or snake. It's talking about a person, the so-called white man. Look, let's look at this word serpent here. Okay? Strong's 3789. It says, snake, serpent with the ancients. The serpent was an emblem of cunning and wisdom. The serpent who deceived Eve was regarded by Jews as the devil. Now look, Strong's definition. All right, it says here, a snake figuratively. Oh, hold on. A snake figuratively as a type of sly, cunning, and artful, malicious what? Person, especially Satan. Now, it's talking about a what? A person. It's not talking about literal snake. It's talking about a person. Okay. And now, let's see, but then you might say, okay, well, but it says the devil and Satan. All right. Now, once again, this is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. You have the literal wicked angel Satan, okay? But then you have his physical counterpart, which is who? The so-called white man. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, and verse 9. Let's start at verse 8. Right, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Who is the wicked? Who is the wicked in the Bible? Malachi 1 and 4, if you read that, it'll tell you who the wicked is. And it says, talking about the so-called white man, Edom. That is the name of the whole so-called, that's that's their biblical nation's name, Edom. In the Hebrew, Adawam. Okay. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spread of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. See? After the working of Satan. This is his physical counterpart. If you thought, right, what would Satan be doing if he was here on the earth walking around? He would be doing what this so-called white man is doing to the world. All right? So you can receive it. This is talking about the so-called white man. And it said what? So it says that he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. All right, because what came after the let me type it up over here real quick. What came after the Western Roman Empire fell? Let's see what comes up. What came after? Right here it says, in fact, after the western part of the Roman Empire fell, the eastern half continued to exist as the Byzantine Empire for hundreds of years. Therefore, the fall of Rome really refers only to the fall of the western half of the empire. Other fundamental problems contributed to the fall. All right, and this Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire, all right, was ruled by Israelites, man. Okay. It says and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, so this is talking about, so this It's talking to verses 1 and 2 is going into the Lord, having it that Esau fell during the time of the Western Roman Empire. Okay. And, they fell and they went into a degenerate state of being. Okay. They were, living in the caves and the mountains. All right. And to further prove it, right? Because after that time period, after they fell, came known as what? The Middle Ages. Okay. And look, the scriptures say what? And bound him 1,000 years. Now, there's no coincidence, right? When you type in on Google, how long did the Middle Ages last? What does it say? Roughly, what? 1,000 years. The medieval era, often called the Middle Ages of the Dark Ages, began around 476 AD. You like to play with the time period. It says, following a great loss of power throughout Europe by the Roman Emperor. The Middle Ages, also called the Dark Ages, right, spanned roughly 1,000 years, and in between 1400 and 1450. But see, there's no coincidence. It says 1,000 years, and in the Bible it says, and bound him 1,000 years. And if you try to be exact, you'll say, well, it went a little bit over, but roughly 1,000 years. Okay, that's how long the so-called white man was out of power back then. And Israelites were ruling the Eastern Roman Empire over there in Europe. Okay, and during while they were ruling, okay, you had these different Russian icons. Okay, you had Israelites ruling. This is why you have, again, these different Russian icons, different paintings. All right, of the the prophets, Yahweh, the angels, as so-called black men. Okay, that's who they were. All right. This is why you have it. Okay, this is another famous one is the Black Madonna. See? See, right here. And they have a book, you can look it up on Amazon, called Russian Icons, and look at the price of it. All right, ain't no reason a book should cost that much. All right, but you see, this is a Russian icon right here. And this is the Black Madonna, supposed to be Mary and Yahweh Shai. All right, but you see it's dark, so-called black. Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man. Mary is a so-called black woman. Okay, according to the Bible. All right. It says what? The paintings are usually icons which are Byzantine in origin or style, some of which were produced in 13th or 14th century Italy. Now, the Byzantine Empire, once again, is also, the same thing as Eastern Roman Empire. This is when Jake was ruling over there in Europe, once again. Now, I typed it on Google, how long did the Byzantine Empire last? It says the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire, lasted for over 1,100 years, from 330 to 1453. This research guide provides an overview of materials held by the Library of Congress, as well as databases and external resources on this empire. All right, but Israelites were ruling there in Europe during this period of time. Okay, during the Dark Ages, etc. This is the same time period: Byzantine Empire, the Dark Ages, medieval ages. All right, medieval times, Middle Ages. This is the same period of time is being talked about. All right, that Esau was out of power and fell back then, and Israelites were ruling over there in Europe. Okay, So reading again, Revelation 20 and 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. So, hey, how you get mad at us when we call the so-called white man the devil? All right? See, you have to understand. All right, that this is, that you have to understand that this is what the Bible calls them. Okay, when you understand the scriptures, it's literally what the Bible calls it. Said the devil and Satan. It's highlighted. I just highlighted it. When you have the proper understanding of this, all right, you understand that it's talking about the so-called white man. All right. And people will say, oh, you're just being opinionated. No. It's no opinion. It's no opinions when it comes to the scriptures. All right. It says, and bound him 1,000 years. Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up. All right. It says, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. All right. Now, this seal, let's look that word up. Strong's G 4972, Sphragizo. I'm saying that right? And it says, to set a seal upon, mark with the seal from security from Satan, since things sealed up are concealed. Right? So it's the contents of a letter to hide, keep in silent, to keep secret. Okay? In order to mark a person or anything. Right. Under the Strong's definitions, it says, by implication, to keep secret, to attest. Then it says here, seal up, stop. Okay? So when we read it, all right, let's read it again. Revelation 20:3. And cast him, talking about the so-called white man, to the bottomless pit. This is where they fell at. This is where the rest of the Roman Empire fell at. And Europe, aka the bottomless pit. And shut him up and set a seal upon him. Meaning, Esau couldn't take down anyone. He couldn't spread his lies, etc. Okay? And was living in the caves. It says that he should see the nations no more. So he was completely powerless at this point in time. All right? He was completely powerless, man. Okay? And let me get the scripture real quick. This is the book of Job, chapter 30, right? And this recalls some of the so-called white man's history, man. Job chapter 30, starting at, getting right to the point. Job 30, and starting verse 4 says, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat, right? Because when they were in this state of being, right? And listen to it. I'm going to go all the way down to verse 8. You tell me what type of person this sounds like. All right. Tell me if this don't sound like a caveman to you. Job 30 and 4, cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were eating things, off the trees and bushes and stuff back then. When they fell and the West Roman Empire fell and they went to that degenerate state. Verse 5, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. To dwell what? In the cliffs of the valleys. What? In caves of the earth and in the rocks. How can you deny that? Verse 7, among the bushes they brayed like a donkey, The braid made noise like ooga booga, This is in the Bible. Under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. More vile than the earth. All right? And that's how they were back then. And you have this thing, right, known as the wild men, okay? And brothers have, our elders here in GMS have went over it, different brothers, okay? But you literally had, Esau back then, as the wild man, living over there in Europe when they fell, okay? Fighting Jake and everything. That was noble. Okay. And this is a German tapestry, okay, of the wild men back then in that time. All right. Look, Black Central Europe. See, we bring you over what? 1,000 years of Black history in the German speaking lands and show you why it matters right now. Let's just see some of the pictures. All right. This here is a German tapestry. All right. Once again, Jake was ruling in Europe. This is why you see him in a castle wearing crowns and things. Okay. See, crowns, his skin is dark. All right, cast, civilized and everything. And then look at old Esau over here, man. Twigs around him, hairy, you know. Hey, cavemen, with rocks, stones, and stuff. Living wild, the wild man. Okay, so they fell to a degenerate state. All right, so you have black nobility. All right, back in them times. All right, this is the history they don't teach you in school. Okay, let me see what else they have here. Once again, you have some more. You got different pictures. Jake will paint themselves, man. All right. Something else. Another person back in this time is a Saint Maurice. Okay, I believe so. All right, sloppy. I'm wrong. All right, but nevertheless, okay, that was the history on that. It's part of it, right? Or some of it. I can get all go into a whole lot. All right, but it says and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. So they couldn't do nothing. They were completely powerless at this time. It says till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. All right, meaning until, so they were completely powerless. All right, for this whole roughly 1,000-year period. All right. It says, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So it says till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. So after this time period came out, it's like after this time period was over, it says till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So after this time period of roughly 1,000 years was over, then let's look up. I'm gonna type it up here. All right. Actually, let me type it here. What came after the Middle Ages? It says the period that came after the Middle Ages is known as the Renaissance, which, you look it up, this word Renaissance means rebirth. And what was rebirth? Hey, so-called white man's power. His rulership. He was ruling as the He was ruling from the Western Roman Empire, and he fell for a period of roughly 1,000 years. And now his power was rebirthed during the time of the Renaissance. It says this period, the period that came after the Middle Ages, is known as the Renaissance. This era marked a renewed interest in classical learning and culture, leading to significant changes in art, literature, and philosophy across Europe. All right, now I'm going to come back to this book. It says here, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So from the time period of the Renaissance, when Esau was when his rulership was rebirthed, ever since then he's been in rulership. This is little season. All right, and we're still in this little season, but this little season that he's ruling is about to be over. Ever since the time period of the Renaissance, he has been in power. Okay. Let me look at this word season. It says chronos. And it says time either long or short. And really is, now is very short. It's why he's about to come down with great wrath. All right. His time is very short. Now he had his time, ruling. Okay. And let me get this back in the Renaissance era. It's like Renaissance. It says definition. So it says key points about the transition. Definition of Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, also called the medieval period, span roughly from the fall of the Western Roman Empire. We went over that history briefly, in the 5th century until the beginning of the Renaissance. Let's just prove that this word Renaissance means rebirth. Renaissance definition says the revival of art and literature under the influence of classical models in the 14th to 16th centuries. All right, it says see the revival. Let's look this up on Etymology Online. Etym Online Dictionary. Renaissance. It says great period of revival of classical-based art and learning in Europe that began in the 14th century. 1840 from French, Renaissance des Lettres. I'm saying it right, from Old French, Renaissance, literally rebirth, usually in a spiritual sense from renaître, grow anew, plants, be reborn. All right. Modern French, renatare, from vulgar Latin, Renaissance. So it breaks it down. Latin, renasci, be born again, rise again, reappear, be renewed. Re is another suffix. What it says right there, from re meaning again. You know, for example, you replay something, you're playing something again. You redo something, you're doing something again. All right. And it says plus nasi, meaning to be born. So Renaissance means rebirth. Okay. And which is rebirth? What was rebirth? The so-called white man's power. All right. And let's get that real quick in Malachi 1:4. And it says, whereas Edom saith, see who is Edom, the so-called white man. That is the biblical name for their nation. In the Hebrew, it's Adamon. All right, but so whereas Edom said, we are impoverished. Impoverished means beat down. And when this happened, when they fell as the Western Roman Empire over there in Europe, it says, but we will what? Return and build desolate places. And that happened during the Renaissance. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them what? The border of wickedness. This is why the so-called white man is called the wicked. All right, he's the wicked. All right. For example, right, you have wicked Israelites, right? However, the Bible has given a certain people the title of the wicked, the wicked. All right, and it's them. Because everywhere the so-called white man goes, you know, wickedness is just within him. Okay. It says, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. All right. And the thing is with this Renaissance, right? Oh, let me continue reading. Meaning of Renaissance, it says it right here. Renaissance translates to rebirth, and you know why? What was rebirth? It says in French, signifying a period of revitalized intellectual and artistic activity. Impact of the Renaissance. This era saw a resurgence of interest in Greek and Roman philosophy, leading to advancements in various fields like art, architecture, and science. All right, the Renaissance. The historical period after the medieval period is referred to as the Renaissance. So it says the Renaissance is considered to have begun at different times at different places in Europe. Okay. And so this Renaissance period, all right, you know, is after those 1,000 years were fulfilled and he was loosed. You know, let's look up loosed. The word that was the beginning of him being loosed. The beginning of him being loosed. All right. Loose. Let's look it up. Strong's G3089. Luo. And it says to loose any person or thing tied or fastened. Okay. To loose one bound, i.e. to unbind, release from bond. So if you remember, he had a seal set upon him. So there you go. You know, he came back into power. You know, we know this is true. Why does it fit so perfectly? You know, why does this history fit so perfectly with the scriptures? All right. Let me just type in what things took place. Just want to see from looking what comes up. Let me just type this in. Okay, just want to type this in real quick, right? It says the age of discovery. So I typed it on Google. What time period did the age of discovery take place? The age of discovery, also called the age of exploration, took place primarily during the 15th century, which is around the time they came back in power. Around somewhere around that time period, right? They were in power by then. Through the late 18th centuries, when Europeans extensively explored and discovered new lands across the globe, right? They came over here to the western hemisphere of the earth, took down the Latin tribes, the tribes in the islands, the Caribbean islands, Central America, Southern America, all right? Even Northern America, Northern America too, all right? It says when Europeans extensively explored and discovered new lands across the globe, marking the start of European colonialism and globalization, all right? Let me just type this in here. There's a reason I'm looking this up, right? Where is it? I'm looking for something. Age of discovery, also known as, it's also called the age of exploration. All right. Okay. Sometimes they go in here and like to change stuff. All right. But here, right? I'm gonna just read a little bit of this. It says it was a period from approximately the late 15th century to the 17th century, during which seafarers from a number of European countries explored, colonized, and conquered regions across the globe. Okay? So in other words, so the reason I'm getting this is to show you right after these devils came back into power, not too long after that, they came over here and started taking down the they started taking down the Israelites, man. They took down the northern tribes that was over here, that came over here. And they came to Arsaret to describe the second Esdras 13:40 on down. Right? Etc. Okay? So damn near almost as soon as he got back in power, he started taking us down. Right? So we're going to Revelation 20 now. Okay, so now we understand this. All right, so it says, and after that, he must be loosed a little season, and we're currently in this little season still. Now, what you got to understand is, right, this chapter, because it says 1,000 years, right? Bound him 1,000 years, till 1,000 years to be fulfilled, right? Now here, verse 4 through verses 4 through 6, it also mentions 1,000 years. But the thing is, verses 4 through 6 are a different time period of 1,000 years than the 1,000 years mentioned in verses 1 through 3 and verse 7. Okay? So the real way that you would really want to read this is to Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 3, and skip 4 through 6, jump to verses 7 on down, and then come back to verses 4 through 6. All right? But, to go through it, all right, so you can understand, right, you're just going to read it straight down. All right? Now it says, Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones. And when you think about it, man, the Lord showed Apostle John a lot, man. Okay? The things to come, Europe, etc. We're about to read here, etc. Okay? Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And these them are talking about the elect. And this judgment, and the scriptures say that the saints shall judge the world. It says, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, and listen closely, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. All right. So it says, and they lived and reigned with Mashiach 1,000 years. Now, it says, now here, this is what this is talking about. The Apostle John is seeing here. He's seeing the elect, including even those of the elect that got beheaded for the truth. All right. He saw them sitting on thrones and reigning with Yahweh Shai in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Let me get this real quick. Now, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, starting at verse 27. The red letter on. It says, then Peter answered and said unto him, it said unto Yahweh Shai. And see, look, it says the disciples' reward. All right, it says, then Peter answered and then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So Peter is asking Yahweh Shai, we've forsaken everything. So what are we going to get? Verse 28. And this goes for us too, hey, we've forsaken things and turned to Yahweh and followed Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. We're going to get stuff. Verse 28, and Yahweh Shai said unto them, it's the point. Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai, he's talking about himself, shall sit in the throne of his glory. And when is he going to do this? In the kingdom, when he comes back. All right, which is yet to come. It says, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So this context is in the kingdom. All right, this is talking about in the kingdom. All right, so you're going to have Yahweh Shai and his disciples sitting on thrones, and the rest of the elect, the rest of the 144,000 sitting on thrones, judging. Okay, so when you read Revelation 20, it says what? And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given to them. So this context is in the kingdom, you see, the kingdom of heaven. All right, he said, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. This is in the kingdom. This is a future prophecy. Is Yahweh Shai sitting in the throne of his glory right now on the earth, or the elect, or the 144,000 judging the 12 tribes of Israel right now? Are they sitting on thrones right now? No. So this is in the future. All right, and we went through what this time period of verses 1 through 3 we're talking about. This is in the past. So you see this talking about. So you see how verse 4 is talking about a different time period. All right, verses 4 through 6 are talking about, like the same thing. All right, the same time period, I should say. Okay, let me continue reading Matthew 19 and 29. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. Okay, so the elect, hey man, they're going to receive all the stuff that they've forsaken, all these things they've forsaken, and they're going to receive 100-fold in the kingdom. All right, and inherit everlasting life. They're going to receive all of this in the kingdom, man, very soon. Okay, so at this time period, Revelation 20 and 4 that the Apostle John is talking about, they have this. They have what Yahweh Shai said here, and they have the 100-fold of all this. Okay, all right. Another piece of evidence to show you that this is talking about a different 1,000-year time period than verses 1 through 3 and 7. All right, is that it says these men, they didn't worship the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Okay, and this mark, or the charagma, MOTB, is what? Micro Chib, right? So let's get that prophecy real quick. It's good to have repetition. Revelation chapter 13. From verse 16. And this chapter predominantly talks about is really, talking about the so-called white man and different things he's done and going to do. Okay, so this mark MOTB, aka the microchip, is a end time prophecy. All right, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, and he talking about the so-called white man, called it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, and people in jail and not, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this mark is what? Let's go into it. Strong's G5480, charagma. All right, charagma. All right, and it says a stamped and imprinted mark. All right, and then when you go down here, it says what? A scratch or etching. Now let's look this word up, etching, in Edamon online. Or etch. Let's look up etching. Etching, right? It says verbal noun from etch, also the art of engraving as a print made from an etched plate. Now engrave, let's look that up. Engrave. Here it says what? To cut in, make by incision, produce or form by incision on a hard surface. Okay? So this mark is going to be something that is cut into you. Okay? It's going to, you know, in order for you to have it, it's going to be cut into you. Okay? You know? And hey, we saw back in 2020 and 2021 how many type of people folded, man. You know, going to it, you know, well, not let me slack it. Let me not say to it, because the jab back then, that wasn't the MOTB. That's not the MOTB. Slack it. Bear with me 1 second. All right, but the MOTB is the micro C-hip. Okay, but what I meant to say was we saw back in 2020 and 2021, you know, how faithless people were and are, okay, because they took that jab, you know, to go to work, to eat, etc. So that was like a trial run, all right, of what's really going to come, which is the hour of temptation. Let's get that real quick. Come at Revelation 13. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, and Yahweh Shai is the one that said this. Right? Because red letters. Right? It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And when you look at this word hour of temptation, it's like this word temptation. You go into it, right? You go into the says parasmos. It says an experiment, attempt, trial, proving, right? But then when you go into the root word, right? You go to the root word twice. Alright. The Strong's definition, it says what? Through the idea of piercing. Okay? Through the idea of piercing, man. Right? Now, let's look this up. You know, see, this is how, you know, and people already have it. Some people already have it, man. Okay, but you see, you know, they had to use this needle or whatever. They could use a different one, you know, to put this in you. This devil wants to get under your skin, literally. He wants to put this charagma under your skin, man. You know, he wants to put this under your skin. He wants to put this in your body. And the thing is, if you allow him to do this, right, under any circumstances, okay, you will not receive salvation. You will not. All right, but let me finish the scripture, okay? So when the so-called white man, right, when he makes this, because he's gonna make it mandatory to take this, right? Just like he did with the jab back in 2020, 2021, he's gonna make it mandatory that you take this, okay? Right? That's why the scripture in Revelation 13, lock in. All right, let me Go back real quick. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 says, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? So, in your right hand or your foot, and it doesn't matter wherever else. If you take it anywhere else in your body, if you take it, the thing is, if you take it at all, okay, because it doesn't just have to be in your right hand or in your head. Some people will be simple and say, well, let me get it in my left hand or my foot, my shoulder. The thing is, if you take it at all, right, you're going to be destroyed. And I'm going to get that precept in a minute, right? But verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And so it's going to get to a point to where you're going to have this, this C-hip in you, okay? In order to buy things or even sell things, okay? And this is why you see society going cashless, okay? This is why you see them trying to get rid of cash and everything. They had this thing with the Fed now, CBDCs. All of that are steps towards this charagma, okay? Now, but the thing is, once again, the so-called white man, he's going to make it mandatory, all right, that you take this, okay? And the thing is, too, that it's not only going to be in America that this time is going to come, all right, but the hour of temptation, aka when he makes it mandatory that everyone takes this MOTB, it's going to be worldwide. Revelation 3 and 10 again. Put the red letter on. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. See? Which shall come upon all the world. So you're going to have other countries and places around the world that are going to go through this. Well, the whole world, let me say it like that. The whole world is going to experience his time. Okay? To try them to dwell upon the earth. Now the thing is, right? Take it. You take this at all, man. You buckle or fold, Just think about it. You got to think about how drastic this can get. If you're living in a society to where you can't buy or sell without this, that means what? You're going to be able to buy food, okay? For you, yourself, your woman, your children, if you have some, all right? So, you're going to have to pick a side, man. All right, you're going to have to see, are you going to stay faithful to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, no matter the circumstances, or are you going to fold, all right, to Esau, okay, and take this charagma? And if you do, you're not going to get on the chariot, man. You're going to be destroyed. There's Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. Starting at verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. And the thing is, right, now you have Trump and Elon Musk, right? This whole 2025 thing and Trump coming back in office, you have them understand Trump, okay? And we understand Elon Musk, he has this whole Neuralink thing going on. He deals with the charagma a lot. Okay, so the fact that they're teamed up together should tell you something, man. All right, this man, Trump, is going to be the president of America, or is the elected president, but he hasn't been sworn in office yet. All right, but he's going to be running the country. And then this man, Elon Musk, all right, if the Lord has it set up to go down like this, all right, he could, since they're working together, he could, be used to, and his Neuralink thing could be used to distribute this MOTB when the time comes. If the Lord has it set up to go down like that, right? So Revelation 14 and 9, right? And notice, I'm reading it again, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. See, and it didn't say what hand, it just said hand. So if you take it at all, Okay, doesn't matter which hand. And the forehead also, right? Once again, Elon Musk Neuralink thing. That's a brain karagma. See, the scriptures don't lie. So what's going to happen to the people that take it? Ultimately, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So in other words, if you take this charagma, you're going to be destroyed in that nuclear fire, aka that second death that's coming. Okay? Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. Meaning for a long period of time, not literally forever. It says, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So stuff is going to get real. It's going to get real, stuff is going to get real stringent. Let me look at that word stringent. Make sure I'm using it correct. Stringent. Yeah, stringent. All right. Of regulations, requirements, or conditions, strict, precise, and exacting. Yeah. Strict, firm, rigid, rigorous, severe, harsh, tough, tight. So these are the times you're coming in. Okay. And no matter the circumstances, you can't allow well, let me just say, because really it's not up to you. Okay. It's up to the Lord, who's going to take the karagma. Okay. But you should have that spirit of, if that you ain't gonna get the karagma no matter what. No matter if your woman is crying, begging for you to take it so y'all can eat. If your children are looking like they're gonna die of hunger, you can't take it. You gonna lose out on salvation. And if you take it, hey, that's your ass, man. That's your ass, man. All right. So stuff is gonna get real tough, man. All right. The Lord is making his men tough now. Okay. When that time comes, it's gonna be, let me not say light work, but pretty much the elect, losing out on stuff now, so it's gonna be easy, to lose. To not regard, those type of situations. But for some brothers, it could be tough. You just got to if you're the elect, you're gonna make the right choice. Let me say that. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29. It says, and Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai rather than men. Right? We ought to obey Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai rather than men. And that's what the so-called white man is. He's just a man in power that the Lord put in power. He wants you to take the karagma. Okay? When the time comes, he's going to want you to take it. And a lot of people are going to take it. But the scriptures say we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. And the scriptures say this too in the law. Exodus chapter 23, verse 2. And it says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Right? If a bunch of people are running to do something wicked, if a bunch of people are doing something wicked, you ain't supposed to follow them to do that wicked thing. That's in the law. Okay? It's like how a bunch of people were running to take that jab back in 2020 and 2021. All right? Brothers in Great Millstone, hey, we wasn't doing that, man. All right? Lord willing, we keep that faith, to the end. All right? We ain't supposed to let nothing, pierce your skin anyhow. It's Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. Right? And it says, they shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. All right? So you ain't supposed to, once again, you ain't supposed to let nothing pierce your skin. It's in the law. All right? So, and also too, if you let this devil put that karagma in you, that C-hip, all right, then you're really telling him that you want him to be your master forever. Real quick, Exodus chapter 21, and starting verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost. And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and an awl like an ice pick. It's something that looks like an ice picker, right? And an ice pick also is similar to that thing that we saw with that charagma, that thing that pierces your skin. Right? It says that he shall serve him forever. And this was, going back, in time we were in the land, you would have Hebrew servants and everything. All right, but we can see it, now, to where you let this devil put that charagma in you. You're basically saying that you want him to be your master forever. You're really giving yourself over to serve this devil forever, man. And look, and that being said, when you go back to Revelation 13 and 16, right, and you look up that word charagma again, another thing it says is this, right? One, it says a stamp, let me put in mark, but it says the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand is the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Which, the Antichrist ain't a man that's going to rise and nothing like that, all right? But the point being, okay, the mark stamped upon the forehead, all right, or the right hand as a badge, as a badge of those that's following the so-called white man, pretty much signing your allegiance with him, that you want him to be your master forever. So the Lord gonna have to destroy you, okay? But so this time is coming, man. All right, this time is coming. All right. However, okay, when we read Revelation 20 again, and read it again, Revelation 20 and 4, and I saw thrones and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast. All right, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. So if you're part of the elect, you don't have to worry. The Lord, let me say it like this: if you're part of the elect, the Lord is not going to allow you to take this charagma. You will not take the charagma, no matter what. All right. You have people that say, "What if they force me to take it? What if they hold me down and force me to and force the charagma on me?" If you're one, that's a faithless statement. Two, if you're of the elect, you're not going to get charagma. All right, because one, it's prophecy that these men or these, pretty much that these men here, they're not going to take this charagma. Okay, they're not going to have it. All right, and if you have it, you ain't gonna get on the chariot. And what did Yahweh Shai say back in Matthew? It's the book of Matthew 24, and right to the point, starting to verse 30. And it says, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai, coming in the clouds of heaven, chariots, so-called UFOs, UAPs, right, with power and great glory." He's talking about his second return. "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." So elect are already destined to make it on the chariot when he returns. So that by default tells you that they're not going to get charagma. Okay? So if you're of the elect, you don't have to worry about getting charagma. Okay? Now another thing too, right? It says, before I get that right, another thing you should know about this charagma, this sea hit, right? Another reason you shouldn't take it. But this is a common plague to those that do take it. It's Revelation 16, starting at verse 1. "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." Verse 2, "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." And this noisome and grievous sore, right, is it's gonna be like, some type of boil, ulcer, blister, something like that. Okay. Like a sore. Let me look it up. a word sore, grievous, sore, helkos. You know, helkos. It says a wound producing a discharge plus a sore and ulcer. You could look that up. All right. So that's another plague that's coming to those that take it. All right. You know, but the elect don't gotta worry about that. Why? Because they're not gonna get charagma. Okay. And also, you want to be a part of that number that gets in that chariot, that gets victory over all of this. Looking down at America getting burned. You want to be on that. I know I do. I know I do. Revelation chapter 15, starting verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled with the wrath of Yahweh. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. That's talking about the firmament. And the fire is talking about the fire from the nuclear missiles, right? And them that had gotten the victory, them talking about the elect, had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the hearts of the Most High. Meaning, they got beamed up when Yahweh Shai returned. As we just read, he would beam them up. They got beamed up into the chariot, and they were above the firmament, looking down at the nuclear destruction taking place. You see, you want to be. And they didn't receive the charagma, so you want to be a part of this. That's what you want to be a part of. I want to. I don't want to get charagma and be destroyed. You take that charagma, man, you're a dead man walking. All right. Revelation 20 and 4 again. And yes, I know this is sound it's a lot, all right, I'm bringing out, but it's needful that you notice, man, because we in these last days, who knows if 2025 is the year all hell breaks loose. Right? You need to notice Revelation 20 and 4. And I saw thrones. So what the Apostle John is saying here is the elect sit on thrones. Okay. Let me get this. Psalms 2, 5 or 6. Psalms chapter 122, verse 5. Another precept, for there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. All right. So this is who's going to be sitting on the thrones here. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh. See, so some of the elect are going to have to be beheaded. Okay. In this time that's coming. It says then for the word of Yahweh. All right. And the thing is, right, this man Trump, hey, let's look this up. Trump. All right. This came out February 14, 2023, and it says report Trump wants to bring back hangings and firing squads in his second term. And he got to that second term now. All right. Says it's thinking about what? Guillotines too. For those that don't know, this is what a guillotine is, man. All right. It says a guillotine is a device used to behead people and carry out executions. It has a tall upright frame with a weighted blade that is suspended at the top and angled. All right. This may look menacing. All right. You see? This, hey, with the Lord, man, who knows if, those that do get beheaded will even feel it. All right. But it says Trump, he wants to bring back hangings, firing squads, think about guillotines too. And it could be a different way that, they execute, behead. All right. It's a lot here. So I just gotta let this load. Oh, man. It's a lot here. So it's running slow. Salakia. I was trying to get a little fearful because My computer, man. This thing be Satan be messing with my computer, man. All right. Let me try to reload it because that was crazy. All right. Let's mix this out. I got too many tabs open. All right. Don't want to scroll down no more, man. It's crazy. Let me try this one. Let me see. It's not loading. All right, so it says here, right? What do you think of firing squads? That's the question Donald Trump repeatedly asked some close associates in the run-up to the 2024 presidential campaign. Three people familiar with the situation tell Rolling Stone, it's not an idle inquiry. The former president, if re-elected, is still committed to expanding the use of the federal death penalty and bringing back banned methods of execution, sources say. He has even, one of the sources recounts, mused about televising footage of executions, including showing condemned prisoners in the final moments of their lives. Specifically, and it said showing, so he wants to make it public. Specifically, Trump has talked about bringing back death by firing squad, by hanging, and according to two of the sources, possibly even by guillotine. Right? And if he does this, it ain't no, you see, when you know prophecy, you already know what's up. All right? He has also, sources say, discussed group executions. Trump has floated these ideas while discussing planned campaign rhetoric and policy desires, as well as his disdain for President Biden's approach to crime. All right. It says, in at least one instance late last year, according to the third source who has direct knowledge of the matter, Trump privately mused about the possibility of creating a flashy, government-backed video ad campaign that would accompany a federal revival of these execution methods. In Trump's vision, these videos would include footage from these new executions, if not from the exact moments of death. The former president believes this would help put the fear of God into violent criminals, the source says. He wanted to do some of these things when he was in office, but for whatever reasons didn't have the chance. The time yet. Okay? Now, shouldn't be surprised because America order. Right? America, all right. Of course, you're gonna have a stupid fact check, all right. But pretty much, you can look it up, look into it. But America had ordered a while back like 30,000 guillotines, right? Hey, but as Yahweh Shai said, man, okay. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. And mortal man can do that. So he's saying, don't fear man. All right. And as the apostles were saying, when this time comes and they actually do have that, have you walk in there and everything, to the guillotine, it should be replaying in your head. But rather fear him, which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. So rather fear Yahweh, man. Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, man, the Almighty. All right. You know what Al-Ashadya means? All right. It means demon-like power. Okay. We will say God Almighty. All right. But Al-Ashadya really means demon-like power, man. That's the Heavenly Father. All right. Because he can do terrible things to people. Okay. It said, fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell, meaning the Lord can kill you in the life that you live now. All right. And when you come back through the reincarnation into your next life, you can come back in a deformed body, which is hell, man, which is a bad condition. not talking about some place under the earth. Okay? So who do you really want to fear? Okay? And if you fear Esau to the point where you take that karama, you're gonna feel that fiery wrath of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. It ain't no getting out of it. All right? You can't be afraid of this devil, man. But the Lord is going to be with his men. All right, and the thing is, right on top of that, not all of the elect is going to die. Okay, let me get that. All right, I'm going to move on. Mark chapter 9 and verse 1. Right, and then he said unto them, verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here, which shall not taste of death, till they have seen the kingdom of the Most High come with power. So all the elect ain't going to die. 2 Ezra 6, it tells you that them that have not tasted death from their birth. All right. So some of the elect are going to have to get beheaded, but as you see, the Apostle John saw even those of the elect that did get beheaded, along with those that didn't, reigning, sitting on thrones, with Yahweh Shai, passing judgment. Having judgment be given to them in the kingdom. All right, it's joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. So you're gonna come back. All right, we're gonna get into that in a minute. All right. Moving on, so we're reading this Revelation 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. They lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. All right, and this 1,000, so you should be able to see how this 1,000 years is different from this 1,000 years. All right, that in verses 1 through 3, and then in verse 7, which we're going to get into. All right. So you see, earlier when I was saying that some of this had already happened, these verses already had happened already, except for, we still in the little season now. All right. But, Esau being cast down and then coming into power, etc. again. All right. That happened already. Revelation 20 and 5 now. So, but the rest of the dead. So this context here in verses 4, 5, and 6 is talking about in the kingdom. So this verse 5, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. So who is this dead here? This is talking about the heathen nations. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 9. Right? And it says, what? Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Right? It says, it stirreth up the dead for thee. Right? Even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All right? That's who the dead is. All right? So the dead is talking about the nation. So what does it mean by, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished? Right? What it's talking about is that, because once again, being that this context is in the kingdom, talking about these heathens, because this 1,000 years was going to be going on in this 1,000 years is hardcore slavery for the heathen nations. Okay, so this period of 1,000 years is verses 4 through 6. It's talking about in the kingdom. All right, the kingdom of heaven after, verses 1 through 3, 7 on down happen. You see, this is why I was saying, you gotta, if you want to read it in its proper order, you gotta read these 3 verses at the end of this chapter. Okay, so this 1,000 years is going to be establishing the kingdom of heaven on earth. That's what this 1,000 years is going to be, restoring righteousness on earth. Okay, and the heathens building up the kingdom. But after the 1,000 years, right? Next, let me get some of the scriptures real quick, because what did Apostle Peter say we're looking forward to? 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 13. It's looking for the background noise, but it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens, meaning a new rulership, right? Out with Esau's rulership and in with Jacob's rulership. They're going to come under Yahweh Shai. And a new earth, meaning a refreshed planet earth, because Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 says the earth abideth forever. Right? So earth is going to be here, but it's going to go back to how, it's going to go back to the way it was during garden, how it was during the Garden of Eden. Okay, during the time of the Garden of Eden, how the earth was back then, that's what it's going to go back to. Okay, it says wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right, you know, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Okay, so this coming kingdom that Yahweh Shah is going to establish on earth, all right, is going to be a righteous kingdom, and righteousness has to be set up. Look at the way the world is today. You got people all over the world just doing wicked things, man, just wickedness. All right, eating abominable food, worshiping all different types of idols and gods, committing all type of wickedness. So how you think they're gonna learn righteousness? You think the Lord is gonna just snap his fingers? Nah, man. These heathen nations. And what about all the recompense for Israel? All right, you know, what about that? Because the scriptures say, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 2 says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, talking about the heathen, in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. When is this going to happen? You know? See? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, all the heathen nations, Japhites, Hamites, all right, you know, Ishmael, Elam, Esau, etc., shall go into what? Captivity, meaning slavery. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. When is that going to happen? Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the face of the saints. When is this going to happen? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, and verse 10. And it says, and the sons of strangers, which you look at this word strangers, is not gar, it's nakar. Strangers see nakar. And it's talking about actual heathens. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. They're going to build up the kingdom of heaven. When is this going to happen? And their king shall minister unto thee, for my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on you. All right, and this is all going to happen during that first 1,000 years of the kingdom being established, okay? Because the kingdom, it says they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Now, you know, this is not saying that the kingdom, that when Yahweh Shah returns, he's only going to reign for a period of 1,000 years. And how do we know that? Because in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44, says this, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. See? And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, because it's only going to be for the Israelites. That proves that the kingdom of heaven is only for the Israelites. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall what? Stand forever. It's going to stand forever, man. So this kingdom that's coming is going to last forever, forevermore. All right? Another precept. It's Daniel chapter 7, verse 13, I believe. It says, the Son of Man presented. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, talking about Yahweh Shah, came with the clouds of heaven, the chariots of Israel, and came to the Ancient of Days, the Heavenly Father Yahweh, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. All right, so his kingdom is going to stand forever, right? So then why would this 1,000 years mean? Let me say like this: if the scripture just said that Yahweh Shah's kingdom is going to last forever, all right. So what is this? So why does it say they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shah 1,000 years? Because this is going to be that 1,000-year period where righteousness is established in the earth. The heathens are going to build up the kingdom of heaven. They're going to be serving slavery. Okay. You know, The so-called white man is going to be in slavery. The rest of the heathen nation is going to be in slavery. They're going to be learning, all right, of they're going to be learning the laws, statutes, and commandments, how to keep them and everything. This is in the kingdom, okay? We get another one showing that Yahweh Shai's kingdom is going to last forever. I think even towards the end it says that. Okay, let me get this one though. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 33. And it says, start at verse 31. It says, and behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Yahweh Shai. You know, Yahweh Shai, when you go to Acts 7:45 in the Hebrew, it says Yahweh Shai. Verse 32, he shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord Yahweh shall give unto him the throne of his father David. Because Yahweh Shai is King Solomon in the reincarnation. Okay? Yahweh Shai was King Solomon. All right, and King Solomon, all right, was the son of David. Yahweh Shai is the son of David. Okay? And King David, actually, I'll get that real quick. 2 Samuel 7. Verse 12. This was being spoken to King David from the Lord through the prophet Nathan. 2 Samuel chapter 7, starting verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. The Lord, pretty much talking about when King David, all right, when he would, die and everything, right? It says, I will set up thy seed after thee, telling King Solomon, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, right? Which he did, he built the temple. It says, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy read that in Hebrews, talks about Yahweh Shai. And where did King Solomon ever get beaten? All right, he didn't. Yahweh Shai did. All right. Verse 15, but my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, and I put it away before thee. And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. All right. But going back to Luke, chapter 1, verse 33. It says, and he, verse 32, and he shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord Yahweh shall give unto him the throne of his father David. All right, so Yahweh Shai, the kingdom of heaven, is also called the throne of David. Okay, that's what's coming. That's the next world superpower. Verse 33, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. See, so Revelation 20, when it says 1,000 years, it's not saying that the Lord is only going to reign for just a period of 1,000 years. This is a 1,000-year period. What can this be talking about? It's talking about when the heathen's going. This 1,000-year period is talking about righteousness being established on earth. Okay, the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven. All right, on earth. Okay, being established on earth. This is what it's talking about. Okay, and at verse 5, all right, and you want to be a part of this. Verse 5 says, but the rest of the dead, which is the heathen, live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. So what does this mean? Once again, the dead is the heathen nations. So they're going to be serving slavery for a period of 1,000 years, right? But the thing is, though, right, after the 1,000 years are finished, right, the other heathen nations, all right, the heathen nations, aside from Esau, Edomites, they're going to be able to go back to their lands and live in their lands among themselves, but they're still going to be tributaries unto us, the Israelites, all right, and they're going to keep their laws. Slakia, they're going to keep our laws, the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, that's what's going to happen to other heathen nations, right? Hence why it says here, Daniel chapter 7, right? And verse Daniel chapter 7, starting verse 11. So I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. And this horn here is talking about America, right? So I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed again with burning flame, because America is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire, right? Verse 12, as concerning the rest of the beasts, talking about the heathen nations, they had their dominion taken away, all right? Because what? They're going to go into slavery, all right? They're going to go into slavery, see? For 1,000 years, a hardcore slavery, because the Lord ain't gonna let what these nations did to his people just slide, man. All right, and I mean, it makes sense why, let me just say it fits perfectly, because this time Israelites are going to be immortal in the kingdom. Ain't gonna be no dying. All right, so we're gonna be able to live through 1,000 years. So we're gonna be able to live 1,000 years and forevermore. All right, but it says they had their dominion taken away because they'll be in slavery, right? And it says, yet their lives were prolonged for a season of time, because the heathens, aside from Esau, they won't be destroyed like Esau will, but they'll be tributaries, right? They'll be able to go back and live in their lands amongst themselves. They're still going to have to keep our laws and be tributaries to us, right? So that's why in Revelation 20, it says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. Right? At that time, they're gonna know to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. They're gonna, right? But as for Esau, right? This is what he's gonna get after his slavery. Obadiah 1:18 says, you saw at the top it said Edom will be humbled. It says, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. So after they served their 1,000-year period of slavery to the Israelites, along with the rest of the heathens, the Edomites specifically are going to be exterminated. They're going to be burned up. Okay. And let's look at that word house. It said there should not be any remaining of the house of Esau, right? Strong's H1004. The Hebrew word is bayath, right? And get right to the point. It says family of descendants as organized bodies. All Edomite. Ain't gonna be not one Edomite left. All right. So they're gonna have to go. But as for the rest of the nations, after they serve their slavery, once again, 1,000-year period of slavery, and building our kingdom up, they can go back to their lands, all right, and live amongst themselves. And this scripture even shows that that's what they're going to do. Zechariah chapter 14, right, and verse 16. And it says, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So they're going to have to come up and keep this feast. All right. Coming from where? So this shows that they're going to be, living in their own lands or whatever. All right, but they're going to have to come up and keep this feast, right? Verse 17, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Verse 18, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come, that was the point, all right? Revelation 20, so it says this is the first resurrection, okay? So, meaning first resurrection, meaning the elect are going to go back to their first estate, right? Verse 6, but the thing is, right, the elect, man, this is why you don't want to, because you have this dude saying, pretty much scoffing against the fact that the 2/3 are going to be reborn in the kingdom. He's saying if the 2/3 are going to make it in the kingdom anyhow, then why do we have to, why are we fighting so hard to make it on the first go round? Well, You should want to make it on the first go round. Because you don't, you're going to taste of that destruction that's coming. Okay? You know? And then, being that you're going to be on the first go round, if you make it on the first go round, right? You know, when Yahushua returns and delivers his elect, you know, you're gonna witness the kingdom being built up. You're gonna witness the heathen nations going in slavery. You're gonna witness these prophecies take place, man. Okay? You're gonna witness your people getting put back on the top. All right? And the curses taken off of them. You witness the curses on them, you're gonna witness them being taken off of them. Verse 6, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death, all right, which is the nuclear fire, hath no power. But they should, why? Because the Lord going to deliver them, his elect. But they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. They're going to be part of that, you know, that, they're going to be part of that, you know, establishing the kingdom and righteousness on the earth. Okay? They're going to be a part of that. But this second death is talking about the nuclear missiles, man. All right? Second Peter chapter 3. Just getting to the point on this. Second Peter chapter 3. Verse 5, for this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Okay? This is the second death when nuclear missiles hit. All right? Because you first had the flood. That was the first death. Genesis 6 and 17. And behold, I, even I, talking about the Lord, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. All right? You know, that was the first death. But now the Lord is going to bring the second death. All right? Which is going to be by the ICBM missiles. All right, that's where the fire is going to come from. Okay, where else is it going to come from? You know, but the thing is, right? And Yahushua said this. Let me get this Revelation chapter 2, verse 11. It says here, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh, and he that endures to the end, shall not be hurt of the second death. You see? So you endure to the end. You keep this faith all the way to the point when Yahushua returns. You know, when you be that elect, you're going to get beamed up, and you won't have to take part in that second death. You have to take part in that Zechariah 14 and 12, where it talks about, you know, fire burning the skin off of you, and your eyes consuming in your holes, and your tongue in your mouth. You won't have to take part in that. You hold on to this faith no matter what, especially if you don't take that charagma. Okay? You know, but see, 2/3 they're going to have to. 2/3 are going to experience this. 2/3 specifically is talking about the land of America, and the whole land of America is going to get nuked. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. It says, "Behold, the day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land." The whole land, America, desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it, man. So, America, right? Let me get a map. The whole entire U.S. of A. All right, from sea to shining sea, as they say, right? This all is going to be on fire. This whole thing is going to get wiped out. All right? Let me get another scripture proving that. This is Revelation chapter 11. And let me just say, I think it's verse 13, 14. Verse 13. It says, In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and this earthquake is talking about the nuclear destruction. Isaiah 24:20. Earth shall reel, meaning to shake, to and fro like a drunkard. And the 10th part of the city fell, and the city is America. All right, but it says 10th part, right? It really should say 10 parts, because you go into it, the word here, all right, it says the 10th, but you go into the root word, it's deca, all right, and it says 10. And why does it say 10? Because America is divided into 10 FEMA regions, all right? You see? America divided into 10 FEMA regions, right? So when we read it again, Revelation 11, okay? Revelation 11th chapter, and the 13th verse again. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, nuclear destruction, and the 10, or it should say 10 parts of the city, being America, fell. Meaning this, it was all of America was destroyed, the whole thing. All right, the whole thing. Okay, all 10 parts, meaning the whole entire country was destroyed, the USA, the whole entire country. All right, and it says, and in the earthquake, meaning in the nuclear destruction, were slain of men 7,000, meaning completion. So anyone left standing on the soils of America that's not beamed up when this destruction happens is going to be destroyed. And in Revelation 20, it says like the same thing. It says, in a remnant were affrighted, meaning that remnant of Israel that made it, right? Which remnant is only Israel. I'm going to get a precept to show you. And that also proves that salvation is only for the Israelites. So remnant were affrighted, because they're going to be, even the remnant in the new bodies, they're going to be affrighted, a little scared of seeing the destruction take place. The remnant were affrighted, and they rose to the power of heaven. They're going to praise the Lord. All right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. Right. And it says, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi are upon the sinful kingdom, which is America, with all the wickedness going on, right? And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. By way of what? Nuclear missiles. Saying that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, says Yahweh, because we're going to save a remnant of Israel. We're going to leave a righteous remnant. All right? So the Lord going to destroy America, man. All right? You know? By way of what? The nuclear missile, which is the second death. But the second death ain't going to have power over the elect. As we read in Revelation 15, they're going to be looking at the nuclear destruction take place. All right. So now, moving on, verse 7. So see now, it jumps back to the context of verses 1 through 3. All right, going back in time. Okay. So Revelation chapter 20, starting at verse 7 now. It references these two chapters here. Right? Revelation 20 and 7, it says that when 1,000 years are expired, meaning when that oh, by the way, Salak, before I move on, actually, I wanted to bring this out because I heard this term, growing up in Christianity. It says millennialism, right? It says millennialism is a belief that 1,000-year reign of Mashiach on earth will occur before the last judgment and the beginning of eternity. All right. Christianity, they don't have the correct understanding of the scriptures at all. All right, but it says millennialism belief expressed in the book of Revelation. All right, it says that anointed will establish an 1,000-year reign of the saints on the earth, the millennium before the last judgment. All right, but actually it's going to be after the last judgment. Okay, because they think, because it's in the context of literally straight through that, that this. That the Messiah, they think that the Messiah is going to come down, he's going to set up his kingdom, reign for 1,000 years, and somewhere this Satan, who is going to come out of somewhere and come back out somewhere and bring a war, etc. That's not what it's talking about. They don't have the correct understanding. All right, I just wanted to bring that out. All right, but Revelation 20 and 7 now, right? And it says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan, talking about the so-called white man, physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, shall be loosed out of his prison. You know what? Once again, the Renaissance. And during the Renaissance, we had a lot of this art. So this white art, Especially this one. This is a famous one. All right. You know, you had Last Supper painting, and this is another famous one. Okay. In this Renaissance art, they depicted themselves. All right, the so-called white man depicted himself as the Messiah, the angels. We just seen in the last picture, right? He look, in the last picture, the so-called white man painted himself as what? The Most High. All right, is Adam. All right. Look, you just even type in angels. What comes up? White images. The angels ain't so-called white people. That white skin is leprosy according to the Bible. That's in the Bible. All right. So you had a lot of that, man. You had what's called iconoclasm too. Okay, this took place during the Renaissance. Okay. And that word iconoclasm means image breaker. Okay, and iconoclasm is where they they had painted over those dark images that we showed before. So the action of attacking or assertively rejecting cherished beliefs and institutions or established values and practices was iconoclasm in Byzantine history. All right, it says, according to traditional accounts, iconoclasm was prompted by Emperor Leo III removing an icon of the Marshal from Chalk Gate, the Imperial Palace of Constantinople, sparking a widespread destruction of images and the persecution of different images. But pretty much it's just, you saw painted over the images, it made himself white, and those images have made him, itself, that white image has made its way into our world today. You see different movies and things, of the white Messiah, the angels white, etc. But the actual paintings by the Israelites, right, were dark-skinned men. Look, these men have afros. So-called white men don't have no afro. Okay, look at this one. They dark-skinned here, man, and they got afros. So-called white men don't grow no afro. That's an afro right there. They painted over that. Now, you see? They painted over all that, man. All right? Revelation 20, though. So that happened. So he came out. So that was just, an aspect of, what happened during the Renaissance. Revelation 27. And when 1,000 years are expired, after the dark ages period was over, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. So now, once again, it jumps back in time. From the kingdom, now it jumps back in time. Verse 7, when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Right, the Renaissance period, right? And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And that's what he did. He went out and deceived the world, man. And one prime way he did that was we just showed you. Him painting himself as the Messiah, the angels, the Israelites, etc. Okay? This is why you have movies like this. With he paint, he put himself up as Moses and the Israelites. Even the Egyptians, man, they ain't no white people. Okay, this is a commonly known movie amongst Jake. All right, look, even as the Egyptians, man, they're not white people. Why do you need to do this? For what reason? So you say color don't matter. If color don't matter, then why did you put yourself up there like that? Doesn't make sense. Revelation 28, but it does make sense because, hey, it's prophecy. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together in battle. Now, Gog is talking about the Russians, and Magog is talking about the land of Russia, right? Okay, let me just bear with me 1 second. Correct. All right. right. So it says Gog and Magog to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now, once again, it's talking about the Russians, because look, right. So now we got, move some of these things out the way. All right. So now, right, and you look. So now, let's go here, right. And now we're on this side of the world. We're on the eastern. We're looking at the eastern hemisphere of the world right now, right. Now here, all right, you have what? Russia living up here, right? You got Russia up here, okay? Now we look on Gog on the ancient map. Look, boom. See? It says Magog right over here, okay? And then even over here, another one, it says Magog, what, right over here? Well, it says Russia right here. Up over here around Russia, okay? So they're, Gog. Okay, the Russians are Gog, all right? And scripture just referenced, said Gog and Magog to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, all right? Because when you see reference Ezekiel 38 and 39, because let's get that real quick. Ezekiel chapter 38, right? Starting at verse 1. Says prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. This is what's coming. And it's going to be during World War III. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Gog is the Russians. Verse 3, and say, Thus say the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. All right. And the Lord going to bring them, put them back in that warlike spirit. How they were during the Soviet Union, I believe, right? It says, pretty much the Lord going to direct Russia to go backwards toward where they used to be. A warlike spirit, okay? Let me just say it like that, a warlike spirit. All right, it says, I will bring thee forth all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. They're not literal swords, all right? And you might have some soldiers out there with swords, but pretty much is going to have them during the time of World War III. The Lord is going to have Russia, all right, with all these, weaponry and everything, okay? Bear with me just 1 second. All right, it says, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, okay? And it says, I will bring thee forth in all thy army, but really, all right, it says all the army, but a majority of Russia's army, the majority of Russia's army is going to go down to fight in World War III, all right? Because you read Ezekiel 39, starting verse 1, it says, Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee. See? The Lord going to turn them back. As I said, we read in Ezekiel 38, right? It says, and leave but the sixth part of thee, right? It says, and will cause thee. So the Lord going to, have a small remnant of Russia's military army stay back in Russia to protect the homeland. Okay, up here, all right. It says, but the majority, all right, is going to come down to where? See, when it says it will cause thee to come from the north parts, it will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. So the Lord is going to have, once again, a small remnant of Russia's military to stay back and protect homeland. But the majority of Russia's army is going to go down to the land of Israel for World War III. That's why you see things like, these Russia, like you had this going on, right? Access of Ezekiel 38. You had this back in October. Hang on a second. Axis of Ezekiel 38. Turkish President Erdogan calls for Russia, Iran, which Iran was previously known as Persia. You're going to find out something about that in a minute. You don't already know. It says Turkey-Syria alliance against Israel. So the Lord is, kicking things up. And this came out on October 13th this year. All right? So, you see things forming. Putin, man, he's he's going, so he's a so-called president of there. It says it will bring me upon the mountains. It said they're going to come from the north parts because north of the land of Israel is what? Russia. Okay? AKA Gog. Revelation 20. Oh, continuing on. Let me get Ezekiel 38. So the majority of Russia's army going to come down and fight. So Ezekiel 38. However, they ain't going to come alone though. Ezekiel 38 and 4 again, it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia. Now, Persia. Let me just type this in. What was Iran previously named? Iran was previously known as Persia. Okay? So, talking about Iran, you see? So, Ezekiel 38. So, this is a future prophecy. Persia, Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. So, these nations are going to be allied with Russia. Okay? That's why I said back here, Iran, Turkey, Syria, with Russia alliance, against Israel. All right. Ethiopia, Libya going to be in there. All right. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, the north quarters, just like, around here and everything. All right. They're going to be against, Israel. All right. The Israelis and things, right? They're going to come down there. Verse 7. Be thou prepared to prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto thee. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter year thou shalt come to the land which is brought back from the sword, about the land of Israel, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have always been waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. It's talking about, that massive army. See, he said that's why it says thou and all thy bands and many people with thee, Russia's allies. Okay, 39, see what it says. Jumping down to verse 4. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel. So look, it says prophecy against Gog invaders destroyed. Because up here, it said that there's a future invasion, but they're going to be destroyed. Prophecy against Gog invaders destroyed. Verse 4, thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands, and the people that is with thee. All right, so, hey, get it. I want to jump the gun. Revelation 20 and 8 again, it shall go out to the seed of nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. The number of whom is as the sand of the sea. This is kicking up as we start. And it says the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, because that big army. So many. So like a big army is said like a cloud to cover the land. Okay? Like a cloud to cover the land, like a storm upon the mountains of Israel. Right? So it's just saying they have a big army. Verse 9. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about. Right? And so, Lockie, I might have to make a part 2 to this, right? Because I know it's been a long time, Yeah, I know. So, Baka shall bear with me, right? But if I had to make a part 2, Lord will make a part 2. Or if not, you could just see the part I mentioned in the beginning of this video with the other brother, All right. It says, they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about. And the saints are the Israelites, right? And the camp of the saints is what? Let's look it up. The camp, parambole, right? And it says an encampment, the camp of Israel in the desert. All right. So it's talking about the land of Israel. The camp of the saints, the land of Israel. They're gonna come down, in here. All right. They're gonna be, around in here in the land of Israel, and especially around the valley of Jehoshaphat, is in Joel 3 and 9. 12, 3. I don't know what it says in verse 9. But Joel 3, verse 2. Let me start verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, meaning at the time the Lord is going to actually deliver us out of captivity. All right, the Lord is going to do what? So in the days that the Lord is going to deliver his people out of captivity, he's going to do what? Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Hebrew Yehoshaphat, meaning the valley of Yahweh's judgment. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. Okay, and that valley, it's going to be judgment. We're going to get to it in a minute, Lord willing. All right. It says, so the Lord going to bring them there, and we'll plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, judge, right? And they're scattered among the nations, a part of my land. So this World War III is happening because of one prophecy, it's part of the Lord's movie, and two, because of what they did to us Israelites. All right. Jump it down to verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare a war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right? Beat your plowshares and the swords. So meaning, they're preparing for war pretty much. All right. All right, verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. A plowshare and a pruning hook are instruments of agriculture. Okay. And swords and spears are what are instruments of war. So the saying is, pretty much the money that they would spend, agriculture they spending, all right, for war. All right. Taking the money they have, to spend that and spending on, on war. All right. Then so let the weak say I'm strong, meaning insignificant nations are now strong because they have nuclear power, man. All right. They have nuclear power. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, the mighty ones, the angels. Verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And the valley of Jehoshaphat is in the land of Israel. It's in the land of Israel somewhere, right? It says, verse 13, put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, meaning the world armies in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near. The day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is near in the valley of decision. When this happens, Yahweh Shai is going to return. Okay? We'll read about that judgment, why it's called the valley of Yahweh's judgment. Yahweh Shaphat, right? We'll read that. But it says, verse 29 again, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city which is Jerusalem. So they're going to come down into the land of Israel. So you write in Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39, right? And as well, Joel 3 a little bit, right? It says, and fire came down from the Most High and devoured them. All right. And the fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. All right. And what it means is, right, that they're gonna, it's gonna that's gonna get nuked. They're gonna get nuked over there. Okay, that's what it's going into. All right, let me just 1 second. So not only is America going to get completely destroyed, but it's also the land of Israel is going to get completely destroyed. Okay, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and Bear me just 1 second. Starting at verse 14. Therefore, son of man, prophesy, saying to Gog, among the Russians again, thus said the Lord Yahweh, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, shalt thou not know it? Verse 15. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, the great company and a mighty army. Coming for war. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified indeed, O God, before their eyes. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, said the Lord Yahweh, that my fury shall come up in my face. For my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. Nuclear missiles. Verse 20. It's going to be shaken because of the nuclear missiles. Verse 20. So that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. And I will call for a sword against him through all my mountains, said the Lord Yahweh. Every man's sword shall be against the person. So they're going to be fighting. They're going to have it to where they're going to be fighting each other, man. Verse 22. Now listen to this, verse 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him, and upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. That is the nuclear missiles. So that land of Israel, when this day comes and they in there, it's going to get nuked. It's going to get wiped off the face of the map. But before I get that, right, let me get one over here. Ezekiel 39, verse 5. Thou shalt fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, saith Yahweh. And I will send a fire on Magog. See? Which is that the nuclear missiles. And I will send a fire on Magog, and among the end as well as the chariot. All right. Let's talk about 2nd Ezra 13. And see, this day is when Yahweh Shai is going to be there, man. And I will send a fire on Magog and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. See? So this is that fire that from the Most High out of heaven and devour them, right? Verse 7. So will I make my Ezekiel 39:7. So will I make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, the Holy One in Israel. Behold, it is come and it is done, saith the Lord Yahweh. This is the day wherever I have spoken. And World War III is going to be going on at this point, right? And Yahweh Shai is prophesied to return in the midst of World War III. This is a World War III scripture we're reading about. So it's 2nd Ezra 13. On verse 1, and it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there rose a wind from the sea, and moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man, Yahweh Shai, waxed strong with thousands of heaven, angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice like as the earth fills with fire. And that's talking about lasers from the chariot, burning things up. Verse 5, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. The sea talking about outer space, the waters above it from him, right? So at this time when Yahweh Shai returns, it's going to be in the midst of World War III, man. All right. When they nations, they're gonna stop fighting each other and come together to fight Yahweh Shai. You see? So it's going to be in the midst of World War III that Yahweh Shai is going to return, man. This day is fast approaching. That's going to be the day of the Lord. Verse 6. Well, you can read the rest, all right? We're back in Revelation 20. So we understand this now, right? Verse 10, and the devil that deceived them was cast in the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Meaning, forever and ever talking about a small period, not literally forever, right? But it's just talking about a long time, right? Revelation 20:11 now. Over this, right? It says, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, and him that sat on it is talking about the Heavenly Father Yahweh, right? This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9. And it says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the thrones is talking about these nations that's ruling, these nations that's ruling. When Yahweh comes back, right, he's going to take these heathens' rulership away. That's why it's in Revelation 19 that he has many crowns upon his head. That he had many crowns upon his head. So this has yet to happen, right? And the Ancient of Days, the Ancient of Days is Yahweh, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, whose throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels a burning fire. How we know that the Ancient of Days is the Most High and not Yahweh Shai. And this proves that the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai are the same person. Revelation, it's like in Daniel 7:13. I saw the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days. See? And they brought him near before. Who? Him. Talking about the Ancient of Days. See? Back in Revelation 20, it says, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. Like we read in 2 Peter 3:13. It's like we read in 2 Peter 3:13, right? A new heavens and a new rulership, right? It says, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. Talking about this current rulership, it's not gonna be no more. All right. Give me 1 second. This means that this current wicked rulership is going to flee away, right? Because the Lord will bring righteousness on earth. All right. It says, and there was found no more place for them. All right, because meaning, once again, this current wicked rulership won't be ruling anymore. All right. Verse 12, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. And this is what Christians call the Great White Throne Judgment, right? And they think that, the Lord is going to sit here and have to judge everyone one by one, all at one time. Let me just pull it up real quick. Right. It says, in Christianity, the Great White Throne Judgment is the final judgment of those who did not believe, as their Savior and Lord. It says the judgment takes place at the end of the millennium after the dead are resurrected. See, they don't understand. We just went over this. Millennium, all right? So at the end of the millennium, man. All right, they don't understand, okay? They don't understand this. This, Revelation 20, this is going to happen all at one time, okay? Because then I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which are written in the books according to their works. And this is basically saying, right, everyone's saying those that that's of the elect are going to be delivered, and those that aren't of the elect are going to be destroyed. That's what it's saying, right? Not destroyed in no hell or nothing like that. All right, it's not destroyed in like some place you go and burn on the earth, because that ain't real, right? Read Ecclesiastes 12:7. Everybody when they die go back to the spirit world, right? But they just gonna get destroyed. Those that ain't of the elect gonna get destroyed. Verse 13, it says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, meaning because people actually died in the oceans. All right, and this and all this water out here, there's actually dead people, man. Okay, it's actually dead people that died in the oceans, man. Okay. So this time, it says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death, meaning people that died but aren't buried, in hell, because in other words, hell, aside from a bad condition, it also means the grave. You know, it said in Acts 2, I will not leave my soul to hell, meaning the grave. It says in hell, so people that died and were buried, delivered up the dead which were in them. Because, and this is happening at the time when this will happen at the time Yahweh Shai returns. St. John chapter 5 verse 28. It says, marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good, unto the resurrection of life. All right, and that's talking about those of the elect that died in this truth. They're gonna, as it says, get the precept. You want, hey, so thinking as we read before, if you get martyred for this truth, you have to get beheaded or anything. Hey man, we will be the elect. You can come back, right? And Yahweh Shai returns. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 13. You're gonna be on a chariot, so don't fear that. You have to go through face a guillotine, or have to get put to death for the truth. When they start persecuting us, and coming after us and everything, don't fear no death. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, starting verse 13. But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, and those that die in Yahweh Shai, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Yahweh Shai died and rose again, which he did, even Josephus wrote about it, even so them also which sleep in Yahweh Shai will Yahweh bring with him. Those that are the elect that are currently that passed away. When Yahweh Shai returns, all right, they're gonna be there with Yahweh. They're gonna get on the chariot too. I'm gonna say it like that. Verse 15. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord. See, that should tell you not everybody is gonna die. All right, Esau ain't gonna be able to get all of the elect, man. Esau ain't gonna be able to martyr all of the elect. All right, you read Mark 9:1. He's gonna want to, but he won't be able to. So he said that we which are alive remain to the coming of the Lord. So some elect are gonna be alive when Yahweh Shai returns. However, it says shall not prevent them which are asleep. And this word prevent, it's like I might have to make a part 2. This word prevent says to come before, precede, anticipate, so to come before, right? They're not gonna so it says what? It says that we which are alive remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are. So they're not gonna be on a chariot before those that died in Yahweh Shai. And it breaks it down in the next verses. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. So when Yahweh Shai returns, that seventh trumpet, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. See? You let them die in the Lord, hold on to the faith, they're going to go in the chariot first, man. Then we which are alive remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. And the elect that are alive, when Yahweh Shai returns, they're going to get beamed up into the chariot to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. From that point forward, we're going to forever be with Yahweh Shai. Wherefore comfort one another with these words, and that is comforting. You can read about this also in 1 Corinthians 15. Lord, I'll get that in a minute. Let me hurry up. John 5:28 again, 29. It says, and shall come forth they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. Because you're going to have some of the elect, Slakia. You're going to have those, Slakia. You're going to have, if you read Revelation 20, people that are wicked come back alive. You have also people that are wicked come back alive to get destroyed again. And that nuclear judgment that's coming. Verse 14, in death and hell. All right, so that's what it's talking about. You're talking about, because this proves hell ain't real, that Christianity teaches. Because how is hell going to get put into the lake of fire? Which the lake of fire, all right, is the nuclear missiles. All right. Or verse 14, it says, in death and hell, meaning the power of death and the power of the grave over the Israelites were cast into the lake of fire. All right, meaning when this nuclear judgment comes, the power of death and the power of hell ain't going to have any more power over the Israelites, starting with the elect. 1 Corinthians 15, starting at verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, and not all of us going to die, but we shall all be changed. Right? We receive a new corruptible bodies. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, when Yahweh returns. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible, the dead in Yahweh as well. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. You see? So yeah, so when the time Yahweh returns, which is when that day is gonna be the same day the missiles are shot over here in America. All right. That time, when that day the elect are gonna get beamed up and changed. And the power of death and the power of the grave will have no more power over the Israelites, starting with the elect. All right. It's gonna happen once again on that day that the lake of fire, which is the nuclear judgment, happens. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life, and whoever was not a part of the elect, was cast into the lake of fire. Meaning, those in America who are not of the elect are going to be burned alive in that nuclear fire. All right. So you see, this is regarding, towards the end of the society. And what comes after the society, the kingdom. That's why you have to jump back to verses 4 through 6. All right. But hey, man, because of situations and things going on, I have to stop it now. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yahweh. Stumble on us, great millstone, every well. Please bless and citation to the elect. Shalom to the elect.